Shanks first to show to show
Oh,
Shanks, like
yeah,
kind of like how strong Shanks is, and then have Blackbeard take him out, kind of, because then it kind of like means
right.
more. Because
Yeah,
right now, if like Blackbeard killed Shanks today, it's like, oh damn, we never found out how strong
yeah.
Shanks is.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, Shanks sucks," and like, yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah, that would be the immediate go-to. There'd
That
be
would
like
be the
so many
immediate
posts
reaction.
about like.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Wano Report. Back after hiatus. I don't actually know. It's been coming and going like really irregularly.
It's been
lately.
a long time since we've done just a normal recorded one. Like, it's like been a month since we've done a normal recorded one, if we don't count the stream one.
Right, the stream one was pretty good though.
The stream one was the best one to report so far.
I would agree that like 100%. That was fun. Yeah, but today I would say a bit more chill, getting back into the more serious business. And,
Today we're professional. We're professional.
Today we're professional. All consumables have been stored away.
Yeah, last time wasn't actually us. That wasn't Ohara's real face. That wasn't me either. That was just That's a fake Wano report.
That was our stunt doubles.
Yes.
Well, it's just like a mock-up. But yeah, so how have you been, man? Yeah, I think we haven't done this in a while. I'm not sure if I can still do a podcast. We will.
Forgot how to talk. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I've been good so far. I might have mentioned I've been on a bit of a break recently, or at least I took a mini vacation. Felt very good. I also kind of need a little time away and everything like that. But now I'm back. I'm on my channel and stuff. I'm doing a series right now of talking about the next candidates for crewmate, pretty much. So yeah, that'll be most of my content for the coming month. What about you?
Like that sounds. We already talked about this a bit before in our secret meetings before the podcast. So I'm definitely excited to hear your thoughts on that. Let's not get too much into it here, but do you have an overall favorite?
Overall favorite? I do, but you just gotta watch the series.
You gotta watch the series. Okay, so you better watch the series. As for me, for me, same as always. I published my second Hunter x Hunter video, so that's still in its infancy, I feel. So that's still not there as what's a good adjective for this? It's not as it hasn't had the impact yet that I'm waiting for. But yeah, but nonetheless, I'm happy about it. It turned out to be like a 30-minute analysis on Killua, so that was fun doing. And then otherwise, I have my scene analysis series going, which is basically like a big pool of experimentation for me at the moment. Like in some videos, I throw in like different music. I like the last one I just dropped today. Actually, like I tried to be a bit more funny. I'm not sure if that worked.
Really? Okay, I have to check this one out then.
The
Zoro one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The Zoro Mihawk scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The loyalty scene.
All right, guys. If you want some peak comedy, then go check out this video.
So that's my plan, and then obviously there have been a couple of breaks with the chapters, like this weekend, and then like I think next month is gonna be a bit better. I think we have like 2 chapters in a row, but then another break, as far as I remember.
Great.
So there, we'll see.
You're doing a stream today. You're doing a stream.
I'm doing a stream today, but people will only hear about it when this podcast comes out, probably on, I don't know, Tuesday.
God knows when. Yeah. Well, today was the day of the stream. If this video comes out and like at this point Ohara's been canceled, then we know that something went wrong during the stream.
I mean, chances aren't that low, I'm afraid. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not that confident into my internet. Whether that'll go smoothly or not, but yeah. So make sure to drop by once you listen to this podcast. No, but yeah, I'm excited for that. It's gonna be like, I mean, we already, for the loyal listeners of the Wano Report, I already did my face reveal last time we did the stream, but like I'm gonna do it for my official channel also today. So I'm curious about that. Like that's gonna be a bit different. And otherwise, yeah, I already told you that I envy you that you got to go on holiday for a couple of days.
You, for the record, though, you have been going on like multiple vacations, I think, in the last few months. So this is the first time that it's the other way around. Because for me, it was like every few weeks you'd be like, oh yeah, I took a trip over to like Switzerland or something like that. I'm like, must be nice.
That's true. I shouldn't complain, but I'm still envious nonetheless. Like, I don't know. Weather has been not as good lately, so.
Yeah, I mean, summer's almost over.
Yeah, it's true though, man. Like, the year, like, I don't know how you feel about it, but like the year has been like a mix of, on the one hand, I really feel like time is running. Like, I can't believe it's almost September. Yeah. And at the same time, I feel like 2020 has already been like 10 years worth of year, if you know what I mean. Like, feels like it's been going on forever. Like, when I think back to January or something, it feels like
yeah, like so much shit has happened this year. It's
crazy. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild for sure. Oh man. So yeah, let's jump right into the One Piece stuff, I guess. Enough nostalgia and like catching up.
All right.
Yeah. Should we just let's just maybe start with the last chapter and then we see how much further we go.
Sounds good.
Let's do that. How was your impression of the last chapter, or maybe the last two chapters? Did you enjoy them? The Kaido scene?
Yes, so last chapter... Wait, the Kaido's... Okay, wait, which one? Last chapter was...
Like the scabbards, taking down Kaido, and then Kaido transforming, and the minks waiting at the top of the skull.
Yes, so I liked that chapter a lot. I thought the visuals were really cool, especially towards the end. And generally, I like the moment as the scabbards are fought. Like, it was... Because I think a lot of times, at least recently, like, we've been jumping around a lot from scene A to scene B to scene C and lots of different characters and stuff. I really like that we were all just focused on the scabbards and their moment, and that did really feel like their big moment. So I generally did enjoy that chapter and that scene a lot. I didn't think that I would be that excited for the scabbards, but I actually was when it really came down to it and they're trying to get revenge on Kaido and everything like that, and we're getting the little flashbacks and stuff like that. So overall, I think that chapter was really great, and then the following chapter, which I guess we can talk about right after this, I thought that was pretty good too. So what about you?
Yeah, no, for sure. For me, it's like at some point in my reviews, I really stopped rating the chapters, because for me, it's at this point less about individual chapters. It's just like I feel like every chapter makes me more hyped for the next one. Like, it really feels like we're building towards a climax here. Not sure if it's gonna be the like our long running segment of the Fire Festival failure, but like there is at least gonna be some sort of climax here, whether it's the main one or like an intermediate one.
Oh, so, definitely. I mean, chapter 1000 I feel like is a good point for that. Like, I feel like that's definitely going to be some sort of major climax.
100%. I definitely think we can agree on this. I just wonder if chapter 1000 is going to be in Wano, or if it's going to be something else, like something, because like on the one hand, being on Onigashima feels like there is so much potential, obviously, for there being like a major chapter here. But at the same time, I also feel like this might be like the sort of chapter where Oda likes to like look into the world and give us something else that's really hyped that's going on somewhere else.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like some major event, like a Kainu killing Sengoku or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I feel like for example, what I could imagine, like giving the pacing and like your theory, right? Like I could definitely imagine that we reach the climax at like 998, 999 in Wano. Mm-hmm. Where Act 3 ends, and then we get like some look somewhere into the world, right? And then like that will be chapter 1000 where something major goes down.
Yeah, that actually seems very, very possible. I mean, I would like it either way, as long as Act 3 ends with a bang. And then, I think that whatever the next time that we cut to the outside world, because how we've been doing that between each act so far, I think whatever the next time we cut to the outside world is going to be insane no matter what. So if that is chapter 1000, that's great. I'm sure that there's something really big planned. I mean, we know that the Shichibukai are fighting the Marines. We know that the government wants to test out their new weapon and stuff. So lots of potential everywhere.
100%. Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, like at this point, I feel like, I mean, you know, you could still fuck up the story, but I feel like at this point there's already so much tension and like so much stuff going on on Onigashima that I feel like it definitely, like, there will be a bang one way or the other.
Yeah.
so how did you like Frankie? Because like I actually like there was a lot of really, really great stuff in the last chapter, but that last panel or the last scene with Frankie and Brooke arriving and like parking that motorcycle on Big Mom's face, I don't know, like I enjoyed that probably way much more than I should have, but like, it was brilliant. What's your take on that?
I actually didn't think that much of it when I read it, because so before the chapter came out, people were talking a lot, like all the discussion was around Sanji, because you know when there's like a big spoiler, then it's just weirdly hard to avoid, and like people will, like I didn't know it was Sanji versus King, but I knew that there was something big with Sanji because it was just like spilling all over Twitter, and then people commenting and like. So I have that Sanji video, so I didn't get spoiled. I knew that there was something big about Sanji. That's all I knew. I didn't know exactly what he did or whatever. I figured he got like a win or something like that in some sense. So that was the main thing that I was looking at when I was going into the chapter. I was like, okay, where's the Sanji part? Where's the Sanji part? And then once the Sanji part happened, to me that was like the main highlight of the chapter. I was like, okay, so now what else happens, sort of. So the other stuff, it's not like I wasn't paying attention. Obviously I paid attention when I read the chapter, but it's just like, okay, so this is how it's ending and stuff. I didn't actually think that much about the Frankie Brooke scene when it happened, or I didn't think it was like a big deal. But I did think that, you know, it's cool to see them getting back into the action because they've been absent for a little bit. I think Frankie hitting Big Mom, you know, was the funny moment and stuff like that. And then Brooke cutting Zeus. You know, he's done that. God knows how many times he's cut Zeus up at this point. Like, Zeus has got to have some sort of a complex or something like that at this point when it comes to Brooke, because I feel like Brooke's messed him up each time that they meet.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would agree. Do you feel like, I'm not sure if you thought about this, but do you feel like Big Mom getting hit in the head will cause another amnesia fit or like some trouble with her memory?
I would not like that, personally. So, but I've seen people mention that. I would not like that personally because I just don't. One, I don't like the amnesia stuff as much in general. I don't like it popping up that frequently and stuff like that. But on top of that, I feel like I would prefer, if Oda wants to keep bringing it back, if it takes a little more than just that to put her into her, I guess, Olin state or whatever, because, you know, not to knock Frankie and his motorcycle, but it is just Frankie and his motorcycle in my mind. Like, that's basically it. Like, I feel like if he wants to have her memory swap and stuff, then something a little bigger. Like, she fought Kaido for how many days, and, like, it's not like she was getting, like, each time she got... Maybe she never got hit. I don't know. But in that case, how's Frankie with his motorcycle gonna hit her for the first time? I don't know. Like, to me, it just feels like it feels like a quick minor gag moment. I would be surprised if that, like, changed her entire mental state or something. She would feel kind of fragile at that point if that's the case.
Interesting. I don't know. Like, I'm still not feeling the Big Mom's gonna be a major villain in this arc. Like, I'm not feeling the vibe for that still. I still kind of like feel Oda is trying to slowly warm us up towards her in like a more positive, like, victim-like light, if you know what I mean. So I'm curious where that's gonna go. But yeah, like the Sanji moment also, like that caused a lot more controversy than I thought, because so I didn't read the spoilers. I just read the original, right? And but like I saw, like, after I already had read the chapter, the people were only talking about the spoiler apparently that was out, that, you know, there was like one panel spoiled of Sanji and King clashing. Oh, right?
I'm sorry. One second to interrupt you. Let me just let my dog in. Yeah, you were saying
that. Sanji, I think we're keeping that in.
Yeah, I guess so.
The long awkward silence.
You didn't say anything?
Nope, I didn't. I just.
Okay.
I was just sipping my.
You could have told them to go subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, no, I was I just saw that the spoilers caused like a bit of a controversy with
Did you leave
Sanji,
now?
right? Where
Are
people
you
were
leaving me with
expecting
that long,
them,
awkward
like him
silence?
to have like a major scene
All right,
against
well, joke's on you.
or
I'll
major
tell
fight
them to
against
subscribe to
King.
my channel.
And I think that's still on the
Everyone, while
table.
Ohara's
But like
on,
while like since I didn't have
subscribe
that
to the Mr.
spoiler and was
Morj
just
channel.
reading the chapter, it
Feel
was
free to
rather
unsubscribe from his channel.
like I think it was a great Sanji
Feel free to
moment
make
and
some
like
dummy
him,
accounts.
like freeing
Have those subscribe to
Momo
my
and
channel
like
as well.
praising him for his bravery and so on and so forth. I
Okay,
really
seriously,
loved
where'd you
that.
go? Ohara?
And also
Hello?
that was able to stop King.
Hello?
But like in the
no.
last chapter at least, it didn't feel as much as a
podcast by myself.
fight, but more as of Sanji, buying
Alright,
time
let's start
for
from
Momo
chapter
and
1.
Shinobu to get away. Like that was more what it felt like to me. That doesn't
Is that
mean
the
like
one
I
where
would still
no,
love
never mind.
Sanji to
Never
have
mind,
that
I'm
fight
reading
next
the
chapter
anime.
maybe.
He pops out of the barrel.
But like I didn't
Chapter
have
one,
the
of
fight
course,
vibe yet,
is
even though it was a
Luffy.
great moment from him.
A great start to a great series. At the end of this chapter, I would rate it a 3 out of 5 stars.
Oh, that's not good. The
Second
connection has been lost.
Hello, Ohara. Where
I
are
don't like the
Ohara's
sound
left
of
the
that.
call? God damn it.
No. Perfect.
Hello.
What could go wrong?
What
Like this-
what happened?
I don't know. Like my laptop disconnected from the Wi-Fi for some reason.
Oh
The
my
stream
god.
tonight's gonna be a
Yes.
success. I can already
Good luck
tell.
on the stream, dude.
What
Oh my
to
God.
what
That
point
almost
did
never
you hear
happens.
me rambling?
I didn't.
Oh, nothing?
I didn't. After I came back from letting my dog in, then I think you said something. You said there's a long awkward silence. We'll leave that in, and then you were gone. I was
Oh,
like,
that was
are you-
already? Oh, I was talking for like 3 minutes until I realized you
No.
weren't there anymore.
All right. So what? One more time.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you the
yeah.
short version, since like I can just leave this part in. But like basically, what I said is like I didn't get that much of a fighting vibe between
No.
Sanji and King. Right? It was more like Sanji having that great moment of saving Momo, like praising him, which I really loved, and then obviously like him like buying time and stalling for time against King. So that Momo and Shinobu could flee, and like I still hope that like, or it would be cool if Sanji got that fight, but it didn't feel like one this chapter at least. I feel.
Yeah, like I think people made a very big deal out of the moment. I thought it was a cool moment for sure, but it wasn't like one. I don't think this means that we're set up for Sanji versus King at all. Like I don't think that's happening personally.
Right.
But two, I also think that like it was just a very small interaction, but people will take very small moments and like make a really, really big deal out. Like now this is like, a big W or a big L. Like people are trying to spin it as like really big stuff. So that just goes to show that like from here on, like any small thing that happens is just gonna be made into a very, very big deal. Like if you see like
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Like maybe we can get into that a little bit here, because I
Mhm.
feel like that's like a really interesting topic. This entire Sanji boys versus Zoro stance, like that entire thing, right? For the longest time, I was very certain that was more of like people trolling, but like
No.
the more often I see this, the more I'm afraid that like people are actually serious about
Dude,
that.
it's vicious. Like people really, really, really
You
get
think so?
behind
You think
just-
they're serious about that?
I think a good portion of people
My God.
are serious, or whether or not they initially felt like it was serious
Oh,
or not. I think once you
right.
post, I think no matter what, once you spend enough time and
Yeah.
investment, like posting like pics or like arguments and stuff in favor of one side, you grow to resent a certain character and not like a certain character or something.
You mean
that,
like
where,
fake it till you make it?
Yeah, like accidentally, you're just like, oh
Accidentally.
fuck, guess I hate Sanji now after like,
Dude, like I don't know.
yeah,
it's such a
posts against him.
weird debate. For like I really can't wrap my head around it. Like I think it's hilarious if you look at it like more as of like a trolling thing.
Yeah,
But like from a realistic perspective, like as a reader, like I do love Zoro. Like he's probably my favorite character, right? I say so in my video. But like Sanji's very, very much up there. Like I think he's fantastic, and I mean, I go in depth into that I think in a video or two. But like I feel like Sanji and Zoro are simply set up to be so different when it comes to fighting that it doesn't even make sense to compare them, in my opinion, like on that serious level at least, right? Like you can of course have fun power scaling them and whatever, but like Zoro is someone whose entire life has been basically centered around becoming the strongest swordsman and like becoming stronger. While Sanji, like he wants to be strong and he wants to like train harder, but not like because his ambition is to be the strongest kickboxer in the world, but rather because, you know, he wants to protect his friends and like follow his ideals and values, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, what you just opened up, though, to be fair, is a classic Zoro Sanji argument, which is that, like, you did just put forward, like, like when Zoro fans argue, why Zoro is stronger and stuff. I'm just saying that's what Zoro fans will say when, like, you know, that's something that people will bring up when the argument is that, like, you know, Zoro's stronger. It's like, well, look at this character.
Well, that's not my argument, though. Like, my argument isn't that makes Zoro stronger. It just means that, like, they're specializing in very different things and they have different focuses. Like, for example, if you told Zoro, like, he's... Like, I think it matters a lot more to Zoro where he stands in terms of power than it matters to Sanji. I think, like, Sanji just wants to be strong enough to be useful and, like, be able to protect, you know, people. Did your mic just fall over?
Damn it. Yeah, it's just... All right.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
This mystery, a mystery that will never be solved.
So no, you're definitely right. The tricky part just comes in, which is basically that, like, Sanji does care about his strength in one specific aspect, which is that, like, when he's comparing himself to Zoro. So
right. Okay.
That's the only area where he's like, he like gets like really heated and competitive over it, and you know, obviously that feeds a lot into how the fandom feels about it, because if you're a Sanji fan, then you're gonna feel what he's kind of feeling. If you're a Zoro fan, then you feel what he's feeling. So
but
honestly, it comes down to Oda to a degree. But
isn't it like more like, how do you read it, like in the story, like just without the community and whatever, like just when you read the story? Because like I personally read it more as like, obviously they have this rivalry and like this, you know, kind of like comedic relationship going on, but like I think it's very, very clear, or like Oda makes it very clear that both of them love each other and that they care for each other and obviously are part of the same crew and so on and so forth.
Oh, 100%.
And like I feel like Oda himself is like using this entire power scaling thing between the two to troll a little. Like with the bounty thing after Whole Cake Island, like that was on purpose, right? Like giving Sanji like that minimum. I'm not even sure how much it was, like something ridiculously small. Like giving him
like
that
10 million higher than Zoro's. Like Zoro's is 320, Sanji's is like 330.
Yeah, so like Oda is literally trolling his own fandom with that. So I feel yes. It's just mind-boggling that like people take it that seriously. To me, I don't know.
Dude, it's because it's like it's an interesting situation, because it's like I think, like, I don't know, I think in other fandoms, right, like you definitely have people who hardcore are for one character, for like another character and stuff, but like it's because Oda plays it up in the story that people care so much between like Zoro and Sanji. Like I think people, like, if there was no rivalry between them, right? If there was no rivalry between them, I don't think this would come up nearly as frequently, like Zoro hate or Sanji hate and stuff like that. But like it also is, it's not, I wouldn't say it's necessarily good, but like the fact that Oda plays up this rivalry makes for like a really fun dynamic to read and speculate and talk about and stuff like that. Like the Zoro Sanji combo is like a really cool character duo, and like the fact that it brings out so much division, but also people love it when they work together and stuff like that and have scenes together. I think that's just a really cool aspect of the story. But I definitely think it all comes down to Oda himself choosing to write these characters in that way.
I would agree that, like, 100%. I think he's definitely adding fuel to the fire in a way. Yes. Like he enjoys doing that.
And what I'll say, I think that like the fact that like everybody understands that Luffy is number one, right? Or most everybody understands that Luffy is number one.
Most people, except those of you guys who for some reason think that Zoro will be the one to cut down Kaido.
God, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just the weirdest. I could go on about Zoro versus Kaido like for the longest time. Like, I'm just so legitimately confused by that. I just don't get it. But everybody understands Luffy's number one for the most part. Most people understand that Sanji is not as strong as Luffy. I think almost every Sanji fan understands that, right? Zoro is then the tricky one because it's just basically Oda leaves it deliberately ambiguous to a degree where Zoro falls in that middle range, because you could very easily, plenty of times in the series that you could say Oda's clearly portraying it as like Luffy, Gap, then Zoro, Sanji.
Yeah.
And then very easily you could argue that there's times that Oda's portraying it as like Luffy and Zoro,
Gap,
as
Sanji.
as a cut above than Sanji, basically. And that's where most and Oda knows what he's doing with that, I guarantee.
100%.
But that's what adds so much fuel. And then the thing that adds the fuel on top of that is that Zoro and Sanji have this sort of like they bring it out in the story themselves, and that's why it gets
I would agree
about so much.
I think you can make a pretty clear distinction there between pre and post time skip, because I feel like pre time skip, Oda actually introduced like this small power leveling scene in Enies Lobby, right? Where he has like I'm not sure, like it's Luffy has like 12,000, and then like I'm not sure how the exact numbers were, right? But you know the scene I mean?
Yeah, that was so Oda had the CP9 graded, but he didn't grade the Straw Hats themselves. So it still leaves the Straw Hats ambiguous.
Right. But I think like what Oda made pretty clear before the time skip, I think there the hierarchy Luffy, Gap, Zoro, Sanji was way more obvious. And then after the time skip, I feel like since basically regathering at Sabaody, I feel like Zoro has been, on purpose been like kind of like kept ambiguous in terms of his strength. Like you have his eye, and like we never have seen him struggle so far really against an enemy, except if he got like stupidly injured in some way or form.
Yeah, I would agree generally that there's more. Part of it to me is that like because with Zoro we haven't seen him. It still feels like we haven't seen him go all out necessarily. Right. Like we haven't seen him get like a great fight. I think he struggled against Kyoshiro. That's like the only thing I'm remembering off the top of my head.
I mean, like he did also get that in. Like, I mean, you could say I'm pretty sure that Killer is a pretty, he's a supernova, and of course not for nothing, right? And then like there was also Onimaru there, so he had to face off against both of them. I'm just wondering, like, even though I think both of them are probably very, very strong fighters, if Zoro were close to Luffy level, okay, now we're power scaling, but I love it anyway. Okay, let's just keep going. I feel like he probably shouldn't have taken that hit from Kamazo, right? From Killer.
Yes, it depends on how much you're putting into, like, what do you call it? How much you're putting into, like, how much was Zoro going all out there, I guess? Because, like Luffy... What's an example? I would
definitely agree with you that, like, he definitely didn't show us his full potential there. Like, I think, like, I would actually say that he was taking it rather chill. Mm-hmm. But then, like, just because you're taking it chill and you're not showing your true power, getting, like, a deep cut like that, just because you're, like...
Yeah, that's true. Like, I was too...
I mean, like, maybe that, maybe that's... Injured. Yeah, maybe it's not an argument in terms of his power, but then, like, that's just stupid then, if you're actually that strong, but you're just that lax that you just, get that wound.
I could load if Kamazo, but instead I got injured and now I have to sleep it off for, like, a full
Exactly.
night.
Or maybe that was, like, his plan to, like, hit on Hiyori, I don't know.
I think that's definitely not the case, knowing Zoro. So yeah, I mean, you're right. I think basically it's just that with Zoro we still feel at the very least like there's like Oda can write him to be stronger if you want. Like Zoro hasn't shown Ashura in a long time. Whether or not that's still a thing, people can at least speculate. So at least feels like there's more room, like wiggle room with Oda in terms of how much he can say Zoro. Like he's like Zoro's this strong. He's been this strong all along. Right. Whereas with Sanji, it feels like we've seen him stopped or not even. I want to say it in like a way that's not harsh.
Why?
Because I'm not trying to be hard. Like I understand. Like we probably still haven't seen Sanji do everything that Sanji can do, but it does feel like we've seen Sanji limited more frequently.
For sure. I mean,
but I don't know
Mm.
what that means for gaps. I don't know what
Right.
that means for gaps because Luffy is very, very strong. Like Luffy
Yeah.
is confirmed really, really high up there at this point. Like he beat Katakuri, and that's like a far, far beyond what Zoro or Sanji have done. So
Right. I don't know. I'm like, for some reason, like, you know, I do feel, for example, like on Dressrosa or on Whole Cake Island, I do feel we have seen many of the Straw Hats go to their upper limit.
yes,
But nonetheless, I kind of still feel like we, after the time skip, we still have lacked this moment where it's really serious, right? And they really have to give it their all. Like, I feel like even though, for example, like I feel like Frankie definitely was, you know, going or on an equal level with Senor Pink back in Dressrosa, I still feel like we need to see so much more from him this arc for some, like, I don't know if you know what I mean. But like,
do know what you mean.
I'm waiting for that punch, right? Like,
Yeah, we need the one view. Like we need like an Enies Lobby type situation,
Yeah.
or an Alabasta type situation. That's basically what we need. We haven't gotten that. Even like Frankie versus Senor Pink, that wasn't Frankie fighting with everything he had. You know,
Yeah.
like, it turned into more so a gag
Exactly.
fight, pretty much. So like,
and then I mean,
Oda's-
yeah, same for Usopp, right? Like he got his observation hack, you like activated it at least quickly, but like that was still not him. I don't know. It wasn't optimal circumstances for him either in that arc, for
yeah,
example,
it's
right?
not like a fight. Yeah, like we didn't see him like in a back and forth fight, like with
Yeah.
Corona or something. Like same with Brooke. Like Brooke supposedly has gotten a lot of
Did you say
moments. Perona. So Brooke is I actually got tested recently because I went, out of state and came back. I'm
All
currently coronavirus free. So for
Ooh.
everybody who's, I'm sure you all are worried about me, I don't have the
Nice.
coronavirus.
That's
So
nice.
Brooke, Brooke has gotten good. He got good moments in Whole Cake Island and stuff, but he still hasn't gotten a fight. Nami hasn't gotten a fight. Robin hasn't gotten a fight. Jinbei hasn't gotten, like, we're still waiting on so many things. Even Sanji hasn't gotten a fight in the New
Right.
World. He's gotten like little moments, like, but not one of those extended multi-chapter sort of things. Like, okay, he's fighting Mr. Two for a while. He's fighting Jabra. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Jabra, yeah.
Yeah, but people pronounce it different. I don't know. Sometimes it's spelled with like a Y and stuff. Anyway,
I think Jabra's fine.
yeah. So we haven't gotten that for Sanji, which is really weird to say because it's been like 300 chapters.
Yeah. No, I would definitely agree to that. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Like, I do want, like, I would say that if Zoro doesn't explode in this arc, I'm just gonna assume that, like, his fights against whatever, like Kamazo and Pika were already his peak. Like, if this arc nothing happens, like it does have to happen this arc, right?
Yeah, I think this is the arc that, like, we're all assuming this is the arc where I think we will get like a really good understanding of like how strong the Straw Hats are overall.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
And
like
in
everyone
general,
decides.
like in terms of power scaling, right? Like how strong the Yonko are, how strong like maybe the Marines are. I don't know if they're gonna show up, but
hopefully. Yeah, like this is the arc where like a lot of speculation can kind of be put to rest, and like we get some clear stuff.
For sure.
We get some clear
For
stuff.
sure. And
Power scaling
I feel like
videos.
still like probably all the power scaling videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like I feel like there's obviously still gonna be a lot of, like, at some point in the story there's gonna be a lot of hype up for Blackbeard for sure. So I'm curious how that's gonna look like. And like whenever I think about this, I kind of like feel Shanks's days are counted because I feel like he is probably the one who would be the best the best person to make an example of.
Yeah.
But-
Look,
So we'll
Blackbeard's
see.
strong. Oh, Shanks is dead.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious how that's gonna play out.
I do think that if that's the case, then I do think that like we would get some sort of a fight or skirmish or something for Shanks first to show to show Shanks, like, kind of like how strong Shanks is, and then have Blackbeard take him out, kind of, because then it kind of like means more. If like Blackbeard killed Shanks today, it's like, oh damn, we never found out how strong Shanks is.
And then everyone's like, oh, Shanks sucks, and like,
yeah, that would be the immediate go-to. That would be so many posts about like why
the way
Shanks
I
was
would
the
love it
weakest
to like. I think what would be really nice is to have, as we've talked about before, have Luffy and his crew face off against Shanks and their crew, like seriously, but obviously not to the death, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they really like, we get a feeling for how strong Luffy is and like how strong Shanks is. And maybe they're roughly equal, and then like maybe Luffy's just on top, or maybe Shanks's crew is just on top, and then Blackbeard comes and just wipes the floor with Shanks. Like I feel like that, because that would raise the stakes really highly to that final battle between the two of them, right?
Yes. You get like a way more hype going in for Blackbeard, because at the moment we don't know much about where he would fall into. Like, how would Blackbeard do against Kaido? I have no idea.
Yeah,
how would he do against Big Mom? I have no idea.
It's a real good question. Yeah, it's so hard because like I still believe that we haven't seen any of them like go to their limit either. Like any of the Yonko. So
yeah, Kaido hasn't even done his hybrid form yet.
Yeah, well, I'm so hyped for that. Did you see that piece of artwork someone posted on Twitter somewhere? Like, that was really cool, of like his hybrid form.
I might know what you're talking about. Was it like Kaido, like really big, and then everybody in the air surrounding him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
So that looked really nice. Exactly. On an unrelated note, back to the chapter.
I forgot we were talking about the chapter. Yes. Which chapter? Sanji chapter? The Sanji versus King chapter?
The Sanji chapter, yeah. Like, one thing, it's really a minor detail, but I thought it was so curious, so I want to ask your thoughts on that. Did you think it was weird that King can actually fly? Like, he has actually real wings, right? As a, like, based on his race.
Yeah.
But then he got a flying devil fruit for some reason. And I'm like, this is such a waste.
About a waste. Like, Queen and Jack are sitting over there, like...
Yeah. I'm like,
why
this is such a waste.
Fruit?
Wouldn't it be so much cooler, like, to have wings and then, like, have a devil fruit that, like, I don't know, like, a flying T-Rex? Like, you're waiting for the T-Rex, right? Like, that would be dope.
He doesn't need the pterodactyl ability at all.
Yeah. It's literally, like, redundant. So I was, like, a bit weirded out by that.
Maybe I thought about that the first time we got his pterodactyl ability, but I didn't like think about it till you just pointed it out.
But I think this is the first time that we actually see him fly with his normal wings, I think.
No, because never mind. You're right. Because the first time he was like full pterodactyl.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know, dude. It's just
stupid. I don't know.
You just go with it. I do think that that his form, like, or his ability at the very least, I want to see how the fire stuff plays into it. You know what I mean? Like, he has a fire ability, right? Or am I crazy? Right? He's got some sort of a fire ability. I would like for him to be more than just a pterodactyl, if that makes sense. Not to say a pterodactyl's not cool, but it's just like, Marco's a phoenix.
Yeah.
There's just a cooler... I don't know, I was expecting a mythical zone at the very least for some of the calamity, for like King and Queen, for example. So pterodactyl is definitely cool, but like I was hoping that they've got like a little more unique aspect. Like Katakuri could see the future, Marco's a phoenix and stuff like that. Like I'm hoping that King has a little more up his sleeve than being pterodactyl and stuff. He's a swordsman. I forgot about that.
It's a good question, yeah. Like I definitely think the armament aspect is going to play an important role, but like, since in this arc Luffy's enemy is going to be, or Luffy's main fighting partner will be Kaido, I feel like that will be like, Kaido will be more this like this beast that's just radiating constant armament hockey, whatever. So I'm not sure like how much Oda's going to go into into fletching out Zoro and Sanji's development in this arc, because I feel like I think it can be done, and I think Oda does have the potential as a writer and has shown it before, but I think it's really difficult to give us like both, give all the Straw Hats fights and then show all the Straw Hats progressing. You know what I mean? So
it's just because it hasn't been prominent in the story for them so far, like in the one arc so far. Again, that's why I like the idea that like this is not
I mean,
like
yeah.
this is a stop point basically, or halfway point.
Even if you go back to like pre-time skip, like because like people love complaining about like, oh, pre-time skip was better in this way and that way. Like even in pre-time skip, like Enies Lobby, like we didn't see how Luffy got stronger, how Zoro got stronger, how Sanji got stronger, right? Like they just.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about like their developed like strength.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
My
no,
bad.
sorry,
Yeah.
you were talking about character.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't
sorry.
have time for character, but yeah, what are you saying? Continue.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying like we even before the time skip, we didn't get like these scenes where like I think the only exception I can remember of someone not Luffy getting like a real power up or making like a breakthrough during the fight was like Zoro when he fought Mr. One. Yeah. That's the only one I could think of right off the bat of my head where I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a fight scene and we see the character making active progress and getting stronger. Yeah. Otherwise, it's only Luffy, as far as I can remember, that ever had that situation.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on that for sure. I think the tricky thing here is definitely going to be that the now that we're in the new world, there's more of an established sort of I don't like using like the fact is that there is more of an established sort of scale, right? Like we know that Zoro fighting, say, Shanks, right? If Zoro fought Shanks right now, Zoro should lose by like a lot, right? If Sanji fought like Kaido right now, Sanji should lose by like a lot. Like there's just been more build up behind how strong certain characters, and like Oda's made a big deal, like Luffy versus Katakuri. Oda did put a lot of time into making a big deal why like Luffy is nowhere near that level yet, right? Like why this character is beyond them. And it was like a major part of the plot for Luffy having to grow and be able to reach that point, right? So now that we're in the new world, it's not like, because in the pre-time skip, it was basically like, here's a new set of bad guys. There's no sort of established sort of like range of strength that they're supposed to be. The bad guys are always just going to be just strong enough that the Straw Hats can like, get some new techniques and beat them. Like, whereas here it's like, what is the range of believability of like what Zoro and Sanji can do right now? Because if you said like Zoro's next opponent is and you can complain about the power scaling and be like, well, we don't know how strong X is or Y is, and like you shouldn't pay that much attention, but it's like we all know that there's some range of believability for what they should be able to do right now, right? Like we saw Sanji struggling with Doflamingo and struggling somewhat with Virgo and stuff like that earlier. Right. So like if you have Sanji suddenly beat someone like King, right, then most people would be like, how did that happen, considering like it took Luffy so much time to be able to beat Katakuri, right? Like there is that's all I'm getting at pretty much. So it does come down to like Oda's got to make it work somehow in a way that like it makes sense, because it's not just complaining about power scaling, right? Like the fact is that there like some things are going to make sense based on what you've written before and some things won't. Like if you had Sanji beat Kaido tomorrow, then like yeah, people should be complaining about power scaling because that makes no sense. Like that's just the reality of it. So sorry, that went in like a bit of a tangent pretty much, but like I don't like when people say that like the power scaling shouldn't matter, just go with it, because that's just a weird mentality to have. That's like, that to me, that's like, well, that means you don't care about consistency, kind of. Right? So it matters to a degree, and then it matters too much sometimes. Like I'd say if you're complaining a lot about the Sanji King moment here, then you probably are too obsessed with like every little power scaling interaction. But like if you think Sanji beating like Fujitora tomorrow makes sense, then you probably should care more about power scaling and like think about what does make sense or shouldn't make sense. That's about it.
No, yeah. I have nothing to add to that. I think I would sign that.
Co-signed by the Wano Report.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else on the chapter?
Rare occurrences. Let me think about the chapter. Well, I'm like, just small thing. I'm really curious like how Momo is going to interact with Yamato. Like she's either going to be, oh yeah, by the way, like either she's going to be, oh yeah, I'm Kaido's daughter, or she's going to be like, hey, I'm your father. Like let me take care of you. So I mean Luffy was like, okay, whatever, but like I think like once she's gonna start interacting with like the actual samurai and Momo and so on and so forth, it's gonna be a lot more interesting to see how they, take up on that.
Yeah, because for them it might be like a little insulting that she's being like, I'm Odin. They're like,
that would be so funny though.
Listen.
Like I'm waiting for that. Yeah, and
Right,
then
I didn't even think about it because it is pretty significant that Momo just got handed off to Yamato. That is actually a really big deal.
yeah,
That
exactly.
they're gonna interact the first time.
And then what else? Oh yeah, I really like smaller like minor detail also, but like I really enjoyed that that there was like a real relationship between Zeus and Nami, and that like Zeus really wants to be with Nami.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a moment. Because what do you think about the fact that one, do you think that Nami is going to get Zeus back right now, or do you think she's lost it for the moment?
No, I think she's getting him back right now. And I do think also that this scene, to me at least, proves that like she's gonna keep Zeus after Wano as a permanent power-up, and that Big Mom, like that would mean that Big Mom survives this one way or the other. So
yeah,
like that's the chain of thoughts that I have in this regard. And I really like it. Like I think it was a very creative upgrade for Nami that I think nobody really expected in Whole Cake Island. And even when it happened, people were like, oh, this is probably going to be temporary. But at this point, she's used him and like she's fought with him. They have a real relationship. So I take it at this point, especially with this chapter, as like this being a permanent thing. What do you think?
I definitely agree that, I don't think that, I think that Nami is going to keep Zeus permanently in the long run. Because I think it would be kind of disappointing if, she got this really cool power-up. And like you said, it is a really creative power-up. Like, it's the perfect thing for her to be able to pick up. Like, Yonko's ability. She stole Yonko's ability. It's really cool. I do think that in terms of it being a permanent power-up, I think it's possible she loses it for a bit. I know it's going to be permanent because it would be just so disappointing for her to lose it. It'd be like, Luffy can't use Gear 4th anymore or something like that. Like, how disappointing would that be? Like, it's like, I don't know. If she picks it up, then we're going to want to see her keep it for a while. I could see her losing it for a bit and then her having to earn it back or something like that. If Oda wants to nerf her for a moment or something. Because I personally, like, I like this moment where, there's this Zeus-Nami interaction and stuff. But Zeus did sell her out by the end of it. Like, he betrayed her basically at the end of it. He attacked her.
But Big Mom basically threatened him to erase him if he didn't do anything. Right?
Exactly. So So Zeus definitely still likes Nami. But when it came down to like,
so did he really attack her? Because I feel like before he could do anything, he gets cut, right? Like, he's just saying, I'm sorry, Nami, like, you gotta die, though. And then, like, he's already cut.
That's true. That's my point, though. I would like to see, basically, a point where Zeus sides with Nami voluntarily, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if this was a moment where Zeus... Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I'm like, okay, so if it came down to it, and, Big Mom or Nami, Zeus kind of has to go with Big Mom, I think it would be cool if, like...
Right. Do you think he can, like...
It's possible he literally physically can't.
Right,
so
that's my thought.
Maybe I'm pushing too hard for it.
I've also seen a bunch of people speculating whether Nami's gonna pick up, like, Big Mom's devil fruit.
Oh, no, that would be so crazy.
That would be a bit too OP,
that would be too much. That's, like, one of the best devil fruits of all time. Like, That's insane. Nami can't be walking around with that. That's insane.
That would be a bit crazy. I agree.
They're never gonna lose.
Though I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm trying to picture it, like Nami turning like stuff, like clouds and stuff, into her homies, I could see that looking nice and like working nice with her character, but it would still be a bit extreme.
It would be very extreme. Like, it would. You're right. It would work well with her character. Like, but she also, I think she could use the abilities better than Big Mom, to be honest. Like, Big Mom's obviously stronger because Big Mom's a freak of physical and hockey and stuff. Right. But in terms of just the devil fruit, I could see, like, Nami knows the weather and stuff so well. Like, I could definitely see Nami being really, really OP with that devil fruit. Like, obviously still not a strong fighter, but like, like any sort of naval battle, the Straw Hats would win no problem. Any sort of long distance battle, they would win no problem.
Right.
It would just be too much. It's funny to think about, though.
I would agree. Yeah. Do you want to go into
real quick?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I was gonna bring up the Sulong stuff, but if that comes up in questions, then we can just cover it there.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
Let's go through questions.
Yeah, I did ask questions. Did
So
you
first-
ask questions? Because
Nope, I just retweeted yours. I just saw that you thought about it, so that's good. One question I want to address right from the start, because someone was asking. Wait, where was it? Someone was asking. Someone was saying that Bayern Munich got lucky winning the Champions League, and I want to take a strong stand against that. And you don't know anything about sports if you think we got lucky.
Well, how much? What was the final score?
Oh, we won 1-0, but we definitely it was a pretty even team. Like it was an evenly tied match, but like it was definitely not lucky. And like looking back at our season, it was anything but lucky. So strong pushback on that.
Yes, I sign off on that too. I haven't
you.
seen the game, but
Thank you.
the Wano
Also,
Report
someone asked if we think that Yamato will be the next Straw Hat, and if you ask that question, you clearly haven't been paying attention the last 4 months or so.
Oh wait, you're not up to date actually. Sorry, because I recently put out a video.
Oh, okay.
I reevaluated my thoughts on Yamato.
Oh no.
I reevaluated it over the course of writing the video. Because as I wrote the video, I was like, obviously I'm going to give Yamato, like, flying marks or whatever, the perfect grade. But as I thought about it more and more, now I feel less and less that she's going to join.
Okay.
So we don't have to go into that in this video.
That's interesting.
Because it'll be like a conversation pretty much. We can talk about it next time.
I'm very emotionally attached to that argument, though.
I'm sorry. That's why I don't want to go into it right now, because I know it'll take a bit.
No, all good. I'll definitely watch it, though.
Okay, it's not long. By the way, I watch videos on double speed now. I've recently started doing that in the last few months. It's so useful. You save so much time, and it doesn't affect what you process, I think. Like, I think you get the same stuff.
I don't know. It's just, I know what you mean. So, for example, don't tell my professors, but like that's what I usually did with like my like everything that was recorded in university. Like I watched all classes that were recorded and available online. I just watched them with double speed. I don't know, for YouTube, it's like if it's stuff that I want to listen to, like enjoy listen to, then I feel like double speed makes it a bit uncomfortable to listen to. But I get what you mean. Like if it's just like pure information, then like I guess that works well.
I agree. Like if you want to enjoy, like especially if I'm watching like a TV clip, I'm not gonna watch a TV clip in 2 times speed. That's terrible.
But yeah, no, definitely, I know what you mean. Do you got a question?
Oh shoot, I should have picked one. Do you have another question?
Yeah, who's the best One Piece YouTuber? I think that's definitely you, Morj.
I'll give it to you then, and then we'll be even. All right, let me pick. Ao Fiji asked who's fighting King and why.
I don't know. I'd give it to Sanji. Like I would like to see that fight continued next chapter.
Oh, do you actually think that that's Sanji's like main fight for the arc?
I'm not necessarily sure it's gonna be the main fight, but I think. So you mean like the one fight that we get like a close up on?
Like who beats King? I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. Well, I think Sanji's gonna. I hope and I think that Sanji's gonna fight King next chapter. Who's gonna beat King? I would say Marco, if I had to put money on it.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Do you think Zoro?
Okay, mine is weird. I think Zoro very possibly. I don't think Zoro can do it right now, which is why I think the arc would take longer. Because, again, I think King should be really, really, like, again, Katakuri, that sort of a challenge.
Okay.
I don't know how Zoro jumps that gap so quick, but, you know, maybe if this is the final battle, maybe it's Zoro right now. I do think that it depends on Orochi, because I could see some Orochi stuff happening. Like, Orochi seems weak, he's gotten his head cut off and stuff like that. If there is a lot more to Orochi than we've seen so far or something like that, and he's actually much more formidable than we've seen, then I could see Zoro versus Orochi being Zoro's main fight, in which case I think Kid versus King, to me, seems like a very good possibility.
Okay.
Because I do think Kid needs a sort of
win.
Yeah, a win that's significant, and I'm looking around and I don't see anyone.
You're just biased for your own videos.
I am, but that's what I think.
I could see that.
All right, that's about it. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Do you think Hiyori will be killed and that will be an inciting incident on Wano for Zoro's growth? I don't know. I think there is definitely like a relationship and connection there between the two, but like I'm not sure. Do you think it's strong enough for Zoro to be like significantly impacted if Hiyori would die?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
they've
so
known
either.
each other for like
I mean, they banged. But...
one night. Yeah, I mean, besides that, that was a one night stand. I don't think Zoro thinks anything of it. For him, it's just a prostitute. So
harsh.
So,
but yeah, no.
I just don't think that it's enough yet for it to be like a major.
No,
because like Zoro's gotten that with Yasu already. Hiyori, I don't think is like that much. Like more of a connection to him than Yasu was.
Right. And I mean, beside that, yeah. I personally still think that Hiyori would probably be like from a narrative, from the narrative point of view, and also from like a personal point of view. I think like Hiyori would definitely probably be my top candidate for Shogun, in my opinion. So I would prefer that over her dying.
Yeah, and also just One Piece dying in general. It's like you're already going for like quite the long shot if you're betting on a character dying, especially when like because we can expect multiple characters are gonna die in the battle as is, like probably Kinemon, probably Scabbard, maybe like a Law or something like that, like because there's already multiple deaths that are very likely. I think once you're getting into like more and more stuff like Hiyori on top of that, I think it just becomes less and less likely because I think Oda's only ever gonna kill so many characters pretty much.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and also I would agree on that. Let's see.
There was this question that I skipped. Oh yeah, so Safi Islam asks favorite Toby Ropo color design from the volume cover. Did you get a chance to see that?
I did get a chance to see that, but I don't have it in mind. I just remember that I really liked Ulti's because like that was pretty close to what most people thought she would look like.
Do you remember what the volume number might be? Maybe I can check it.
Who might have posted that?
98.
Maybe Sandman, maybe?
Okay, that was a bad question. I shouldn't have brought that up because I didn't realize that it's like not easily findable. I remember I liked some. I remember I was disappointed by Who's Who. That's it. And then I liked
he was
everybody
red, right?
else's. Sorry?
I think he was red, right? And then
yeah. but yeah.
And then I think I really liked Sasaki had like this neon green hair that was like kind of like that looked dope. Okay, I can't find it.
Yeah, nowadays we're getting to see Oda's coloring process, right? Like I don't know if you're seeing the same tweets I'm seeing, but like you can actually see Oda coloring in and like creating the volume covers and stuff like that, or the cover spreads and color spreads and stuff like that.
Right.
Did you get a chance to see that for this volume?
I saw that. Yeah.
So I was really shocked because so far, like lots of times we get like really crazy colors for characters and stuff we wouldn't have expected. And it's just like, man, I had no idea Oda was thinking about that this entire time. Like, oh, Kaido's a blue dragon, stuff like that.
Right.
With the Toby Roppo, I was shocked because for the first time I'm seeing Oda color stuff, and he's just doing whatever the hell he feels like. Like, it's not like he planned all along that Who's Who is going to be this red color scheme. He's literally just like mix and matching like a bunch of different colors as he goes along, and he's like, oh, you know what, I like this. Oh, you know what, I like this. Like, I always thought that like he chose his colors like with a very clear image in mind. Like he's creating the character like Tama, and he's like, okay, and you'll have this purple color and like, you know, green clothes and stuff like that. But no, he's literally just
right.
He thinks of the black and white drawing, and then when it's time for color, he's like, all right, fuck it, like what are we doing today? Okay, let's splash some of this in.
Let's get
all
some
right, we got
here.
it. We're good to go. Like, you know, with the Germa 66, like did he always plan on it being rainbow colored, or I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Anyway. I honestly think he doesn't put too much thought into the color anyway. Like, since he's so focused on the black and white.
Yeah. But his color spreads are...
Oh, yeah.
He's had some really good color spreads recently.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah, and it was a really good volume cover overall. I think it's one of the better ones for sure.
Let's see.
You got a question?
Still scrolling.
Not
How
so
many
that-
goals? I like how I'm like getting more and more soccer questions. Like how many goals Messi's gonna score at the Premier League this season. Bro, I don't know. I don't feel like he's gonna leave. I think last I checked, they were asking for 700 million transfer fee, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, question done. Sorry, let's move on.
Emilio Vilas is asking, how has your duo dynamics changed now that one of you is considered a Chad by the whole community? So, I'd say it's drastically changed. Ohara is a dick to me all the time now. Doesn't answer my messages.
I just bully people now.
Yeah.
In the chat.
He's like, hey Morj, ask for the questions of the Wano Report. I was like, oh, okay. Sorry. I'll do it.
Oh, you've been working out recently, though. I can tell.
I have.
I can tell.
Thank you.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Let's see. Who is dying in Wano? Where's Hiyori? Is there like anything else? What do we have? How would Sanji find all blue? That's also a bit general.
I think I thought all blue is. I still think all blue is the destruction of the
red
so
line.
You'll find it accidentally. Is the answer.
Favorite and least favorite cover story.
Oh, that's a good question. I like that. Fuck, but I don't remember all the cover stories.
Yeah, it's good. Like, you actually can't see me, but I have actually from Japan. I bought like it's like it looks like a manga volume, but it's actually all the One Piece cover stories in a like manga format. So I'm just gonna look through it and remind myself what kind of cover stories there were. But from the top of my head, I would say like I really like the Hachi one.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because like I guess bit of a spoiler for my next video, but like my next video is gonna be on the Nami scene on like at Arlong Park, and so like when I was looking into that, I thought it was really interesting like how Oda set up the entire Fishman thing there, and then already like Hachi was already like this kind of like the only one standing out and like seeming not to be this evil like racist being, like transporting Zoro to the village for free and like being all nice and stuff, and then getting this after the arc. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. And then like getting that really nice cover story I think was really nice. Like warming us up to the idea that the fishermen might actually not all be that. These monsters, these racist monsters, and then like preparing that twist once we get to Sabaody and Fishman Island.
Yeah. Definitely a good transition character, basically, or like setup character. Like Hachi definitely helped bridge that sort of gap in perception for the fishermen. I think cover story wise, I'm not gonna remember each of them, but I think I've liked the ones that are like off the top of my head, I've liked the ones where it's like Luffy got a new bounty and it's like going around the world and like catching up with characters or something like that, or like when the Straw Hats first returned and it was just going around the world and showing. So I've kind of pulled it up. So maybe the Ace one.
Right.
Ace,
there's cool. Wapol. There's NL. There's one with
the NL one is the most
Django. I think.
Yeah, the NL one is. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I love that cover story, but like, it's easily the most significant cover story there's ever been in terms of the lore revealed. So that's probably the most important cover story.
That is a good point.
Baroque work. Yeah, Baroque work's the one that's cool. Oh, I mean, you know what? My favorite... Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
No, I'll just say, like, my favorite one was the Straw Hats separation. So, during that period of time
right.
Yeah, that was my favorite, because at the time we just wanted to see what's up with the rest of the crew. And
I honestly keep forgetting that's a cover story and not...
Yeah, same, because it was almost too important for a cover story. Yeah. That was really cool.
I wanted to say something, but now I forgot it. But yeah, I would agree. There was one. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is like the cover story now, like it's been so annoying for so long that at this point I'm actually kind of invested in it. If that makes sense. So
why is it still going? What is happening?
I don't know. But like at this point, like I don't give a shit anymore. Like I just want to see Pound succeed and like you know.
It was the worst cover story for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was the worst
Oh
cover
man,
story for
it
a
was
while.
dragging on. It's
Yeah.
been dragging on.
And then when the Pound reveal happened, it just became I think you disliked it more than I did for a while.
Yeah, I
And
was
then-
really annoyed by it.
Yes,
Like as
you
much
really disliked
as
it.
much as I enjoyed, like I think I enjoyed the last like 20 chapters or so a lot more than many other people. Also like you some occasionally, but like the cover story I've been hating on
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, we just don't talk about the cover story. Okay. But I think when the Pound reveal happened, then that immediately tanked it. For me, it was like a very meh cover story, like eh. But when the Pound reveal happened, that made it the worst cover story in the series for me.
Oh, okay.
And now it's just like, okay, the Pound band-aid is, it's ripped off. So now I'm just like watching, like, what the hell's, where are we going from here? Like, I guess there's some funny stuff happening, but I don't know what the end destination is. But
yeah, that's a good point. Let's see, what else do we have? You got another question?
Shoot, no.
We do
There's a lot
have
of
like
questions.
60 comments though,
yeah.
so there should be something in there.
There's just that, like, we've done this so many times that at this point it's like, the question, we're pickier with the questions at this point, right?
I guess
like,
so,
if we
I
see
guess
something
so.
like, like, how long do you think Wano's gonna be? Like, we've
Right.
talked about that so many times.
I guess we could talk about the Oda interview though. I feel like there's not so much to say there. I mean, he said like 5 to 6 years again.
Yeah,
He
I think
said-
he said 4 to 5 this time, but I just don't put any stock in that personally.
Yeah,
like
I
I
mean-
literally just don't. Like, if it turns out to be that, then it turns out to be that. But it's just like I need to see it to.
Yeah, and I don't. I
need to see a
really
sign for it.
like the point we're at right now, right? Like, how long have we been in Wano? And there's how much is there still? Like, how many open loose ends do we still have to tie up before we can even before
Just
going
finish
to
this
Raftel, even before, and then there's like Oda himself introduced Imu like 80 chapters ago. I'm like, for what? Literally you made the story longer, like unnecessarily in the last instance.
Dude, I just think that the simplest answer is that it helps drive up sales, and that's probably the truth.
Or maybe
That's just
maybe
the
Oda's
simplest
just
answer.
like, maybe he just loves trolling his editors. I could see that.
Yeah, that's also very true.
He's like, oh yeah,
That's
this
also
no,
very,
for
very
sure,
possible.
4 to 5 years for sure. That's easily. It's like, are you sure? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we got it.
No problem.
The thing is, I do think that Oda has a really good. This is how I've thought about the chapter numbers now, because the chapter, like, Oda does his wacky stuff with the numbers, like, oh, today's Odin's, like, Odin Day in Japan or something, like Odin's dying or something, or like, I tweeted about this. It was like the Sulong transformation. It happened 100 chapters after the first Sulong transformation, which is interesting. So,
it's so
like
random. It's so
980.
random though. Like,
that maybe that one was random. Maybe that one.
no. I mean,
I don't know. But
I personally, I don't doubt that like that is like Oda does that stuff on purpose, but like it's not like you can. I mean, I'm sure there are people
Yeah, I
out there
think
who are like, oh, it's
sometimes,
been 100
yeah.
chapters since, I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
Since this one
Brooke
very
asked
specific
someone
thing.
to show him his panties the last time, so
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, what a genius.
it's International Lingerie Day, so like Brooke's gotta have to have an appearance or something.
I do think though that Oda, for at least some of these, maybe not the Sulong one, but I do think that for some of these,
Yeah.
like he tries to use them as deadlines more than anything. So like,
That makes sense.
so it's not even like it's a cross between like, oh, he's not rushing it to try and get to a certain number or something, but I do think that like he might have a mentality. He's like, okay, if chapter 1000 I'm gonna do this, then I think by this day Odin should die. By this chapter Odin should die. I think by around this chapter the Sulong transformate, like the battle should be starting, which
Yeah, I
means
can see
the
that.
Sulong. So I think that's very possible. And in that sense, I do think that Oda probably has it mapped out pretty well. Like how much longer for the series he has to go, or what he wants to do. But I just don't think that he's being fully honest with the 4 to 5 years, because I do think that he would just do this to drive up sales, which is totally fair.
Yeah, quite possible. I mean, like I said, like just realistically, how many chapters are we getting a year? Roughly 30?
Oh yeah, now at this point it's like 30. I think it
Yeah.
was at 38 as of last year, but
Okay.
with Corona and stuff, now it's like.
But I mean,
literally, like,
even
30.
giving it Yeah, like so let's say like 35, right? That's in 4 to 5 years. That's 120 to 150 chapters. That's like not
35 times. Yeah, it's just not. It's just it makes no sense.
I don't know.
Also, that's okay. Let's say it's 35 times 5. That's 175 chapters.
Yeah,
that makes no sense. Like that's impossible. It's just impossible. Like that's the length of the Dressrosa arc plus plus like Punk Hazard, pretty much. Like that's not possible. So to me, it's just not him being fully honest or him attempting to. I do think as because the series is in its final stage for sure. So I do think it's more so drive up sales as the story.
Yeah, and I mean, I would also like. I think like if he wanted to, he probably could tie it up. But then like
it would be not good, dude.
It would, yeah.
I don't think it would be.
And like that goes entirely against the over 20 years of the story we've had so far. So
yeah. If it's literally ending in 4 to 5 years, like if I knew that for a fact, then maybe I just stop reading now because I don't want to see One Piece go down like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I would obviously read it straight through to the end. Like there's no universe where One Piece would something really really bad would have to happen for me to like ever consider like not finishing out One Piece.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, like giving all the wonderful foreshadowing and like knowing that Oda's a genuinely great writer, I do have high expectations, like same as I did have for Game of Thrones, right? That we actually do get an ending that like is unique and maybe life-changing is maybe a bit drastic, right? But like something very unexpected and like valuable, like a great ending. Like I do have that expectations, but like even if it just turns out to be like a minor twist and like a great battle, I would already be happy with that. I feel like you would have to do something really sucky to fuck it up.
Yeah. I think there's like two types of endings. I think there's like a Naruto type ending, which is, and apologies if there's like big. No, I'm not even gonna say anything that bad that I don't think that most of the Naruto community and the Bleach community already agree on. Okay, so I think there's Naruto type ending where, I would refer to that as what you're talking about, which is like, I think you have your final arc and stuff. You close up most of the loose ends. Maybe you don't knock it out of the park necessarily, but like you close out the series fine. You have your battles and stuff like that. Maybe it doesn't live up to how people felt about the series at the start, but like I think it's fine. Like I view the Naruto ending as a solid ending for that series. I think it doesn't match the highs of the early Naruto, and I think there's like a lot of parts of it that like I don't really care for, but it's fine. And if One Piece gets that sort of ending, I would personally be disappointed because I think there's so much potential and so much that Oda has built up, and like the conclusion for it is something that Oda's been building to for like a long time. So I do think that it has the potential to be like the greatest manga ending ever, or like one of the greatest story endings ever. But if it just ends with like a solid final battle with like everybody getting their fights and stuff like that, that's not the worst thing in the world. Then there's like what I would call the Bleach ending, where almost all Bleach fans are going to agree that it was way too fast, way too rushed. We didn't get to see like a lot of stuff that we wanted, and it just it just started feeling more and more like, okay, it's ass pull of the week sort of writing, and it just went so downhill so fast that like most Bleach fans would tell you that they're not happy with the ending, and like I think you'd have to be like a really really like put your head in the dirt sort of and close your ears sort of Bleach fan to be like, no, that was a 10 out of 10 ending or something like that. So I'd be okay with One Piece getting the former. I'd be okay with it getting like a solid Naruto-esque ending. I can't imagine it getting like a sort of Bleach ending. Like I would be very disappointed if that were to happen. Did I lose you? Did I talk for too long? You still there? Hello?
Hello?
Ohara? Hello?
What happened there?
Did I lose you? How long was I talking? What happened? Why are there two Oharas in this group chat now?
Idea. Have you kept talking?
I kept talking.
Okay, that's good. Then we don't have to cut that. You were just suddenly gone and mute, and I don't know why. I'm like in here twice now. I don't know.
All right. Well, I think I made the point I wanted to make.
That's good.
So,
I agree with it 100%, and I think it was a wonderful point.
Excellent. All right. All right.
Yes.
Do you want to do like one more question or what?
Yeah, let's do last question. You are free to pick.
Oh no! Didn't I pick that last one?
I'm not sure.
Or
No,
maybe
I
you
think
picked
I
that
did.
last one. Oh shoot! Then I have to pick. All right. What do I think is this? I don't know, dude. We've answered so many of these before. Like,
Let's talk about the Sulong
not
then.
answered. The Sulong?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Sulong. I don't even know what to say about it though. Just brought it up.
I'm really excited for Nekomamushi and Inorashi's transformation to the next chapter. I'm gonna say this much. And I did like a lot the symbolization of like beasts versus beasts, and like the minks all transformed, and then like Kaido in dragon form, and like all the gifters.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
a really
was-
cool matchup.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get like a lot of cool visual. I was hoping for this chapter, because this chapter we were set up for that Sulong transformation, right?
Yeah.
So I was really hoping and kind of assuming that this chapter we would get some like crazy artwork, like a huge double page spread of like all the minks in Sulong or something like that. And we didn't get that, but I think there's still potential for that. Like, especially once the minks, the dukes transform or something. Like, I would really like some cool double page spreads for this next section of chapters, like kind of like we had throughout Marineford and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, you know, as you said, beast versus beast, I think would look really, really cool.
Yeah. I agree to that. I think that's also a good point to call it quits for today.
Yeah.
I think that was compared to to last time almost too professional, except the couple of blackouts we had. But these are just standard. So yeah, thanks a lot for listening as always. Make sure to subscribe to the channel here, subscribe to our individual channels if you haven't. If you're listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, make sure to leave us a nice review. And otherwise, we see you guys see us next time.
All right.